All right. Well, good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Brittany Wallace and I will be your moderator for today. I am from the Illinois SBDC ITC and PTech at the Joseph Center in Forest Park. This session is called Get Your Local Business on Google Search and Maps, and it is being presented by Ms. Randy Penfield. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to put in the chat, raise your hand, and we will get to those as they come up. And so I will read a short bio for Randy, and then we will get started. All right, Randy Penfield is a speaker for the Grow with Google program. She has more than 20 years of experience helping small businesses and nonprofits improve their digital marketing. Before becoming a Google-supported trainer, she educated and trained SMBs for Constant Contact as the Mid-Atlantic Regional Development Director. Everyone, please welcome Randy Penfield.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. So I see we've got people in here. As Brittany mentioned, my name is Randy Penfield. I am the speaker for Grow with Google, and I'm coming to you from my home in Baltimore, but I'm from Philly. I live in Baltimore now for my husband's job for about 5 years. So I just want to kind of get a feel for how many of you, and if you could raise your hands or however anybody wants to do this, are aware of what is Grow with Google and the Grow with Google Community Partner Program. Okay. And guys, I don't mind it interactive. I mean, all just hanging out at home, right? So, or your office. Okay, so a couple people are familiar with it. Okay, great. Okay, so for those that are familiar with it, are you already Grow with Google partners? Are your centers? Are you individually? Are your advisors, partners currently, and you've used the program? Okay, great. All right, so what I want to do is I want to start with going over a little bit about the partner program, because even if you're already a partner, maybe you don't know some of what's available, some of the things that we're offering, ways to present material on your own, or have a trainer like myself. Back in the day, we would come out and do it in person, but we're still completely virtual, but presenting it through webinars. I do a lot with the SBDC across the country. I do full state webinars series. I'm running one in Pennsylvania and New York. We're doing one, getting ready to start one in Maryland, hopefully in Delaware. I've done Virginia. So full state series, because it's actually really worked well. And we just run a whole series of different webinars throughout the state. State kind of organizes it, and then the different centers volunteer to be considered a main host. And I'll explain all of that. And again, if you have questions as we go through, let's make this as interactive as possible so that you get as much as you can from this. And I'm not just preaching to you. And the other is, after we go over the program, I'm going to go over one of our presentations, because you always have, as a Grow with Google partner, an opportunity to present any of our material that we have available within the resource hub. And we keep that updated. It's all fresh content. We provide speaker notes, the whole gamut of information. So I'm going to go over one of our most popular ones, and how, if you were to present it, some of the questions you may get asked. And also you probably get a lot of the businesses, your clients, asking you questions about some of their Google products that they're using, or how they can improve their digital presence online. And this is one of the most important ways that a business can really help itself. And a lot of businesses struggle with it. So let's just start with Grow with Google. It was an initiative that started in 2017. We partner with it. And before I get into partnering, but the reason that Google started it is to really reduce that digital divide across the country. And we provide education, not only for small businesses, for aspiring IT people, we offer now, I'm sure many of you have heard of Google Career Certificates. We work with libraries, we work with job seekers. So we have tons of information and tons of groups and organizations that we work with. My team, our team, works more with the small businesses and helping those small businesses improve their digital presence online by showing them how to utilize Google tools. And we partner with organizations like the SBDC, and this is just a sampling on your screen here that you can see. We have hundreds of organizations that we partner with. And the reason we partner with these organizations is because you're all doing great work in the communities already. So it helps us and helps you by bringing this education for free. There is no charge for it to your clients, to the businesses that you work with, as well as helping you get a better understanding of Google products so you can help those businesses. How do we do that? With our program, Grow with Google. And for those, and any of you who have already hosted webinars or know Grow with Google or are currently a Grow with Google community partner, have you hosted the webinars? I mean, you're welcome to unmute, talk. Anybody that's already had coffee, want to join me?
Good morning, Randy. This is Chris Youngmark at Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. And we've hosted a couple of webinars, an online watch party. I don't remember the topic exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we have done that.
Okay, so you did one of our digital series. It used to be called Live Stream. It's now called Partner Digital Series. Okay, so, and I'll explain that, but that is basically, we just present it across the country. We share a link and you can either have your clients come in and network and you do a viewing party, or you can share the link with your clients and your clients can view it. Okay, so you've done that. Chris, have you had a trainer come out or a trainer present for you any of the material as well?
I'm trying to recall. We've done our own presentations.
Okay.
Related to Google, like SEO topics. So they were sponsored by Google and the material is provided by Google.
Okay.
However, we use our own presenter for that.
Okay, cool. So just to give everybody who's unfamiliar with the partner program, number one, it is a free resource. It is about helping you help your clients. We're not there to try and get people to sign up for something, sell anybody. It is strictly educational, and educational for your clients, educational for your advisors. So over the years, and we've trained well over 10,000 at this point, we've got over 8,000 partner programs across the country. And I also work with a lot of organizations in Canada as well. And we're in 50 plus states. So here are some of the resources that we offer. And again, I can't stress it enough. It is free. It is available for you, but we've got get started guides. So we provide those presentations, and I can always sign in if we have time at the end and show you around the partner community, but it's hundreds of topics, from how to use Google Drive, Gmail, Calendar, Google My Business, SEO. I mean, you name the topic, make your website work for you, Google Ads, analytics, all of that information. We provide all of that. Workshop support. We actually, number one, if you want to get a trainer and you become a Grow with Google partner, you can actually request a speaker like myself to present the material for you. There are some requirements that Google asks 5 days prior to the event, and assuming it's a webinar, since we're not traveling, we request between 40 and 50 people registered, as well as attendance of 30 people or more. Now, I know a lot of people are probably saying, hey, I don't know if I can get that on my own. But the way I structure my series and my webinars, I either do it through the state, I do it with multiple SBDCs, or I may have multiple SBDCs also partner with SCORE, with the SBA, local chambers, local libraries, bringing more people in from your community so that, there are a lot of businesses that might not know, what is the SBDC offer, right? Are your services free? So it also opens up that window for you to reach more future clients. The series that I have been running, I hear back from a lot of the advisors that they've gotten clients from this. It's been very beneficial for them as well as for their clients. So we have the training, we have the material. You're also a direct link. You've got a direct link to Google, which is really important, which means if you're working with a client and that client is having trouble maybe getting their business profile verified on Google, you can actually reach out to our partner team on that client's behalf and say, hey, they're having trouble getting verified, or their address is appearing, they don't want their address to appear, or this review is harassment. How can we help them? And you can actually reach out to our partner team. Our partner team reaches out to our business profile team. There's a lot of teams going on here, but we reach out to another team and we try and work with that team and you to help get a resolution for your client. Now, you can't share our partner team's information, but you can reach out to our partner team on behalf of that business. And you do it through the Resource Hub by becoming a Grow with Google partner. And then we also have a discussion board within there. And the discussion board allows all of our partners to post questions, maybe issues they've had. And a lot of times you'll find an answer to a question that you might have within the discussion board. And then there's a lot more in there as well within the Resource Hub, but this is all free and it's provided by becoming a Grow with Google partner and having access. And as I mentioned, it's not just the center that becomes a partner or the director. It's all the advisors can have their own sign-in and access to the partner community as well. So you might have 5 different advisors within one center become a Grow with Google partner. Just example on the screen here, and I apologize, I have to look to my right when I'm looking at the screen, my camera's to the left. These are some of the self-hosted that you could host yourself, example of webinars, as well as trainer hosted also. These are just a few of the topics. Chris, you had mentioned the digital series. These are just a couple examples of the digital series. I think last year we ran 6 of them. I think this year we're doing 4 of them, and that of the digital series. So how do you guys become a partner? So in order to become a partner, you would have, as I mentioned, you would have access once you become a partner to the Resource Hub. Within the Resource Hub, we've got an overview, resources, workshops, activities, store. So if you're doing a in person, maybe a small group in your office event, you can actually order some swag to hand out for free. And then the discussion board that I mentioned. And we also, within the discussion board, something new that we added, you can break it down by state also. So if somebody from your state is a Grow with Google partner and they're putting information in where you want to connect with them, we have that available. And then our support in here also. So to become a Grow with Google partner, you can complete the registration. You can reach out to me directly. Also, most times, those that are registering to become a Grow with Google partner, a lot of times they will reach out to me directly, and I just do the application on the phone with them on their behalf, submit it, and you get the emails. It's all done through your work email. So any questions on the partner program before I move into the presentation that I'll give you an example of? Have I lost everybody? Too fast, too slow? Everybody's good? Okay, thanks, Erica. Okay, all right, just making sure. I just want to make sure everybody's good. Okay, so let's talk about an example of a presentation. And this also, if you have questions, and I'd be surprised maybe if you don't, because I'm sure many of your clients have asked about their business profile or how to verify their business profile on Google. So this is one of our most popular presentations about your business profile on Google. And I'll present it, but I'll present it as if, giving you some pointers on areas and questions that people ask. And again, if you have any clients that have had issues and maybe you want to ask me during the webinar, raise your hand, unmute, doesn't matter to me. Put it in the chat. I'm easy, whatever. So all of our presentations, and let me just show you real quick. I'm going to exit. I want to make sure I don't mess this up. I'm going to exit full screen just so you can see how the presentations are done. So you guys can all still see that? The slides? Okay. So here's how our slides are. And this is all available just like this within the partner community. So once you have access to this, you would go to workshops, workshop material. We have a video for each presentation on suggestions on presenting it. We have handouts. And this is the slide deck. So we always start with 2 hidden slides. And we let you know when something's changed because, hey, it's Google. Products are always changing. There's always updates being made. So we always start with 2 hidden slides. Then we go into the presentation and we give you speaker notes. So you don't have to create your own speaker notes. Although I encourage you, if you were presenting on your own, to get comfortable with it, and you can rewrite the speaker notes in your own words if you use speaker notes. Within the partner community, you're actually downloading a copy of it. You're making a copy of it and saving it, whether it's on your own desktop or Google Drive. So we provide all that material. So let me go back into full screen. All of a sudden I forgot how to do that. Drag this over here. So I'm not going to use that. Okay. So this is where you would start. Most of our presentations do start with a value prop. This deck, we go right into an agenda. We always have an agenda, so you really know the flow of the webinar or the workshop. Now, again, you don't have to present this. You can request a trainer as well and say, hey, can you present this for me? I want to work on a series, or I want to bring in a couple of our chambers and we want to host this. So we always start with the agenda, and I'm going to kind of run through this with you so you get a feel for it. So we start with what is a business profile. We kind of go over exactly what a business profile is, because a lot of businesses don't truly understand how important this is organically, so that when people are searching for their services, for their products, not just by business name, that they're appearing not only on search, this also helps them to appear on Google Maps. And we have made a lot of updates with this product and the way that a business can manage it. So we go through the different features. There's the business name, their Google reviews. Always point out that a business cannot reply to a Google review until they are verified as the business owner and they have ability to manage this product. Their hours, their website links, photos, short video. Many businesses don't realize they can actually add a short video, 30 seconds or less, as well as the consumer can add photos and videos to their business profile. And location. Now, I am sure you work with a lot of businesses that work out of their home and they don't want their address to appear. So there is a way to hide the address, and we try and show that to everybody when they're attending also. And then we point out where they're appearing. So they're appearing on Google search. And I'll always point out that this is the organic section. At the top, we sometimes have ads. To the right is the business profile. And then it allows the business profile also to appear correctly on Google Maps as well. And, within the speaker notes, we do discuss that there are some signals within the map section that people need to be aware of: relevancy, prominence, distance. Those are some of the top signals as to why a business profile would appear on Google on the map section. And the other thing I do point out now is a lot of the features have kind of moved from the dashboard, which I'll show you in a few, to managing the business profile directly on search, as well as through the Maps app on their phone, which is really, really important for the businesses to know that. And then, the next slide would explain that the device, the profile formats correctly, regardless of the device the consumer is looking at the profile. One thing I point out is the call button is available on a mobile device, but obviously not on the laptop or the tablet for the call. So then this presentation walks through the steps to create a business profile. And this is where a lot of businesses do get a bit frustrated when they're trying to verify their business profile. It's easy to walk through the steps, but sometimes that verification doesn't come through as quickly as they wish. If they find their business profile just by searching for their business name, there's normally own it now, claim it now. And they can click that and they would walk through the steps to verify. One thing that has to be also addressed is they need to be signed into a Google account. Now, I'm sure a lot of your clients probably have multiple Google accounts. A Google account would be a Gmail account, a workspace account. That is a Google account. Yep, Chris, you raised a hand.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So a situation I've run into multiple times is the business owner doesn't have access to their Google business profile. They'll set it up. They no longer have a password. How can they link their business and take control of that?
So did somebody else already verify it, or they don't remember which Google account they used?
So say it's an active profile, it's made it through the process, and maybe that whoever set it up isn't available to, or they lost the password, or, don't remember what email address it was associated with. But it seems that that's been the case a couple times. I've just wondered, for a business owner coming in, can they claim an existing profile?
So you can't, if it's already been claimed, you can't come in and just claim it and say, oh, it's mine. The two ways that you can do this. Number one, they go through the steps to try and it'll say it's already verified. It might give a hint as to the email address that verified it. Won't disclose the email address. It'll give a hint. And then you can say, I'd like to send a request. There's a button they can hit to request a transfer of that ownership. They can request it a few times if they don't hear back. It's not always easy, but a lot of times then they can also, as a Grow with Google partner, and you are, Chris, so you can actually reach out to our partner team on behalf of that business and give documentation. And then our partner team can also reach out then to our business profile team saying, hey, we have documentation. This guy owns the business. Somebody else verified it. He needs to get ownership, and they will try and work with you as long as the documentation, sustains what they're saying. But there is a way to transfer ownership and request that transfer. Again, if they're doing it that way, it does take some time, because many times that person who verified it, and maybe it was an old partner, maybe it was a marketing company, they parted ways, not so friendly. So I don't recommend that they go out and just create another business profile, because now that you've got two profiles out there. So those really, the request to transfer would be the first way. Second way, reach out to you, and you can reach out to our partner team on their behalf. And our partner team will tell you what they need in order to work with you on that. The other thing is, and I see this a lot with businesses, they have multiple Gmail accounts, and they verified their business profile with one Gmail. And now they're trying to get back to their business profile, but they're in a different Gmail account. So I always also say, how many Google accounts do you have? Okay, you got multiple. Let's try each one of them first and make sure one of them you didn't verify it with, and see if we can get in that way too. And did that answer it? Okay, Chris?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Sure. So, and that's something I do stress with, before most of our products are used, you do have to have a Google account. So I stress to the businesses, try and remain consistent across the board. Number one, nobody sees if it's your personal or your business email address that you use with your Google products. Nobody sees that. So maybe you by accident started with your personal. that's fine. Invite then, and I do say remain consistent. So all of your Google products you should have access to it through that Google account. But you can go in and add another user to any of your Google products. So add your work email as well, so that you have access to your Google products, including your business profile, regardless of the email address that you're signed into. So again, before they start, they do have to, the first step would be to sign into a Google account. I always recommend they remember which account they use. And then it's going to walk them through the process of verifying. And I'll just quickly scroll through here, but they need to type their business name. As they're typing their business name, a lot of times the business already has a business profile that's never been verified, but Google creates it because it crawls multiple sites. People put suggestions in. So business profiles are out there, but have never been verified. So if it's the correct name and information, they can click on that. It'll appear in a dropdown. If not, they can continue typing the business name. They pick their business category. One mistake a lot of businesses make is they don't start with their primary category. So I work with an appliance store. He sells appliances, grills, mattresses. His main business is appliances. Always have that business start with the main category. A lot of the features that will be available for them will be based on the category that they pick. So it's really important they start with the main category, then they can add multiple categories at a later date. So, and the other thing is you're going to hear from your clients, they don't have my category. I don't understand Google. What's wrong with that? They don't have my category. They need to pick a close category. We don't have everyone. We are always making updates, adding categories, changing categories. So they need to be aware of that. And this tool is, as with anything online, it's not a set it and forget it. It is a tool that you do need to be engaged with and be active on. So they'll pick their category, put their business name in, hit next. Then this is where the address comes into play. If they answer yes, they answer no, they're still going to end up at the same place. But if they answer yes, they're going to be prompted to put their address in. It cannot be a PO box. It must be a physical address in order for them to receive mail. So if it's yes, they'll go to locate, they'll fill in their address, and then they'll end up service area. If it's no, they'll jump right to service area. And then at the end, before the final verification step, they will have to put in a mailing address. Google will request a mailing address. Cannot be a PO box again. That address, even if they've answered no, they have to put that address in, but the address will not appear online. Then they both end up at service area. They can start adding up to 20 different service areas. Understand, this is not a tool for somebody who is strictly e-commerce. If you have an e-commerce client, it's not a tool for them. This is about doing business locally, having a local presence, some type, whether they meet their clients at their client's office, in their office, at a coffee shop, they have a showroom, they just have a service area, and they're heating and contractor or a plumber. It has to have a local presence in order for it to be verified. Then they're going to enter their business contact information. Their phone number must be a landline or a mobile device, cannot be a fax number. Have them put in their main number. Now, eventually they'll be able to add additional phone numbers, up to 3 numbers, so that there's a variety of ways to contact that business. Their website URL. And then they're going to choose a way to verify. Now, here's where most businesses get stuck. Some can't get mail. So a lot of times, even though they put in an address, they're not going to receive it. They can keep coming back and requesting to be verified. Google has started to, it's kind of beta testing in a sense, but giving additional verification ways. Sometimes there's a phone number that's available. So Google will call you that phone number and give a verification code. If they see the phone number They need to make sure they have a pen, a paper, and they're at that phone number because it's an automated thing. And it's just automated. The phone will ring in like seconds, and there'll be a code that they're given, and they can sign back in and then put that code in, and then they're verified. Google's also started rolling out email as well. Not email, I apologize. No, email, video as well, because a lot of these businesses that are in multiple locations, not multiple locations, but in a larger building, Google wants to have proof that you're actually there. So they ask for a video of your office, walking out of your office, your website, your signage. They expect the signage out front. It should be a continuous video if that is an option. And I've heard in some situations through Google Search Console, Google is also verifying that way. 99% of the time though, it is through mail. Some businesses though do get lucky and they have these other options available. And then if they are having trouble and they've tried doing this multiple times, this is where you become that resource for them and say, hey, listen, we've got contact at Google. We're going to reach out on their behalf. We'll find out what they need and we'll help you get this verified. There's never a guarantee that we'll be able to resolve the situation, but we do try our best. And most times we are able to help the businesses. And then while the postcard is away, the businesses can start adding information into their business profile. So once they are verified and the business profile goes live, they already have some of these features and tools already filled out. And always stress to your clients that the more information they put in to their business profile, the better opportunity they have to appear when somebody is doing a search. So I'm just kind of scrolling through some of these things. So guys, any questions? I know I'm going through a lot quickly. Everybody good? Questions, issues? Nope. Okay, just making sure. So photos, I always stress, photos, we're a very visual society. People want insight into these businesses. And again, this is the same way, I present it very similar to the way I'm presenting it to all of you today, but all this information is in our slide decks and you can present it on your own as well. Although most organizations would rather have it coming from the horse's mouth than trying to understand, all of our products. And then, a lot of times when they're going through this, there's an offer if they want to try Google Ads, they can do that. And then I know it says on here 5 days waiting for the postcard between all of us. And I know we're recorded, so I'll be careful, but it'll take longer than 5 days. Just be aware of that. So how do you manage the business information? So once they're verified, now they want to come in and they want to really update their information and make sure that they're putting fresh content into their business profile. And again, remember now, maybe during the summer, they've got an intern and they want to give that intern access. They can give that intern access as a user, different access levels, and they would invite that user through their email address. The owner should always keep primary ownership or owner. So if an owner already has a business profile and they've worked with a marketing company, I recommend to them, and for you to tell your clients, have that marketing company transfer primary ownership to you and you can make them an owner. Nobody can remove the primary owner, but the primary owner can remove additional users. So I always stress making that owner of the business have primary ownership. It is extremely important. And that's with any tools that they're using. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so there's now a couple different ways that they can manage their business profile. And this started really rolling out in November of 2021. A lot of businesses don't do it fully yet. They're a little confused by it. But if they're signed into their business profile, their Google account, and they're searching for their business online, on search, as well as in the map section, they can actually manage their business profile directly from search. We are encouraging all businesses to do it this way. Eventually, the dashboard will go away for the single user. Now, if it's an agency or people with multiple locations, that dashboard will probably stay around. But somebody's got one location, one business profile, they're going to be accessing their business information either from the Maps app or Maps or from search. So with search, as with the dashboard, you really could do everything. There are a few things that we haven't moved over yet from the dashboard, which I'll show you in a few slides for them to do. So they still have to go back to the dashboard for some things, but we really are starting to transition everything over. So from search, they have the ability to edit their profile, promote customers. There's 3 separate tabs that they would hit. Within each of the tabs, there are different areas that they can manage and update. So within the profile, you've got your business information, your hours, products, services, photos. So going through this, business name, they've already filled out their name. Now, I do hear from businesses, well, my name changed slightly. Understand when they make a big change, like a name change, or they're moving across, the state and their address has changed, sometimes it will throw them into a re-verification status. And the reason is Google is really trying to cut down on spammers. And this is really to protect businesses, not to make it difficult for the businesses. So their name should already be in here. And this is where now they can add additional categories, and they can add up to, I think it's 10 categories that they can add up to. So they can add now all their additional categories that they want as well. And remember, sometimes those features that are available within the business profile are based on the categories that they've picked. And then their description. So this is content. We really recommend that they fill out their description completely. Most important information at the beginning. So if something changes in their business, and maybe they were only, maybe they're back to just, hey, we're only taking no walk. We don't have walk-in. You have to schedule an appointment. That should be right up at the front of their content, of their business description, and then be descriptive using good keywords, describing their products and services, because again, this is an SEO tool as well. So their business description, their opening date, they should be filling out all the information that they can, because it's more information, another opportunity to appear when people are searching. Here's where they can add additional phone numbers, up to 3 phone numbers. So starting maybe with their main number, and then maybe they have the store manager's cell phone or their whatever they want to do. They can add, if they want, 3 different phone numbers. And then here's the address. This is the location. Now, this is relatively new, where they really can drag the pin if it's not where they want it to be. They can drag that, and they can also have their business address in here as well if they want, or they can remove their business address, which would remove the pin. But then you'll notice service area here, go back right there at the bottom, and they have the ability to add up to 20 different service areas. Again, I'm going to stress, it's not for a business that hits 20 states. It's about local. And I'm sure some of you have clients that have multiple locations. If they have multiple locations, they should have multiple business profiles. Each location is about, or each business profile is about that location. So it's really important that they have one business profile per location. So service areas, they can add up to 20. Hours, hours are always changing for businesses in today's world, so they should be updating their hours. We do have more hours. Let me just see if it's on the next screen. Yeah. So more hours we started during COVID, and that allows, some businesses go and they said, I'm doing curbside pickup. I'll have that available, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Weekends, I don't offer that. So they can hit, if it's available on here as an option, curbside pickup or delivery, or, happy hours, or whatever the options that are available that pertain to their business. They click on that a window would pop up, and then they have the ability to choose those days and times that are associated with that additional feature that they're offering. So that's called more hours. And then there's another area under hours called special hours. So we're coming into the summer, Memorial Day. Maybe some businesses might have extended hours for Memorial Day. So they can actually go into special hours. They do have to have regular hours set, and then special hours, and they can say Memorial Day, and they could extend their hours there as well. Once they're verified, they can do that in advance, and automatically on that weekend, on those days selected, those special hours will appear live. So if products is available, this is another great feature. So going back to the appliance store that I work with, that appliance store sells tons of products. So he's got all different products listed, and it's an image. They can put a title, they can put a description of the product, they could put, if they want, a fixed price or a price range or no price. And that appears a little bit higher in the business profile than something called post, which I'll show you in a second. And they can add multiple products to their business profile. And here's one thing I always stress is when they're adding it, they're providing a link to where they're selling that product or describing that product on their website, even on a social platform, wherever they want to drive traffic. Make sure that they're sending that consumer, not to their homepage, not to their contact us page, to the page of their website where that product is listed. And then if services is available as an option, they have the ability to add their different services that they offer. Now within services, if they don't see a service that they offer, they do have the ability to add a category of services. That's one of the areas that they can change themselves and add a service. Photos, I mentioned, photos are really important. I don't really recommend coming in and just doing a photo dump. I think they should add photos, short video if they could, but I think that if they could start adding a few photos a week, it is beneficial. And again, always new content, and they should rename that photo as, it shouldn't be file JPEG, 10,554. Name what it is, because remember, Google's crawling photos as well, and it's descriptive also. We give some tips in here on good photos. And then the next tab is promote your business, and we've got a variety of different options available. That was all under the profile tab, all found directly on search. Any questions? Anybody? Nope. You still with me, guys? Just making sure. All right. Gotcha. Okay. So promote. So within here, so performance, we've changed some of the insights and the ways that they can view it. Before it was more graphs, and you couldn't see as many options, meaning time periods. Now you can look at a week, you can look at a month, you can look at a quarter. I think we can break it down up to 6 months. And then calls. So the business can also, we rolled something out where they could have, we give them basically a different number, and it's call. We're not recording the call for them to hear, but we can record whether or not they've answered the call, how long the call was, or whether they missed the call and the phone number it came from as well. And messages, if they turn on messaging, it's a feature within the business profile that creates a little chat button on a phone, and the consumer has the ability to hit chat, and they can send the business a direct message. It would come in through either, they could look at it at the dashboard. Actually, it's now, I think, just through search here, as well as search, as well as through the Maps app. So they make sure they, somebody wanted to come in, you got it, never mind. They wanted to make sure they download the Maps app. They're signed into the Google account that manages their business profile. And then they can answer that chat directly from the apps under updates. They'll see that. So, and that's another thing I'm really, really stressing, that businesses should also be using the Google Maps app, making sure they're signed into their business profile as well, because that's another way to manage your business profile here. So, and then they can see bookings, how many people click for directions, website clicks, all within here. Here's where I had talked about products, and now this is posts. So we offer a variety of different types of posts. Posts are an image. Some posts allow up to 10 images, and it's a description. They have up to 1,500 characters of information to describe that image, that post. And posts are like live updates. So maybe they're having a mega Memorial Day sale, or a mattress sale, or a fireplace sale, whatever it may be, or a special tune-up, or they're offering a special on a service. So they can create a post. It'll have a direct link to where on their website they want to drive the traffic if they want that. And a variety of different types of posts, an event, an offer. They can do a coupon code out there. Events and offers would have a start date and an end date, whereas an update, like what's new, just goes out and it appears. It used to be for 7 days, and I think Google is now, I don't have exact date on that, how long it sits within the profile, but it appears that it is longer than 7 days currently. And then we've got reviews. And I'm sure you guys have all heard from your clients about reviews. So it is a sore spot for many businesses, but the most important thing is they need to have access to their business profile in order to respond to the reviews. It is highly recommended that they respond to the reviews, and whether it's good or bad. And if it's bad, I mean, every business has negative reviews. Now, if every review is negative, that's a different story. But if they have a few, they don't and shouldn't ignore those reviews. It's important to acknowledge those reviews, answer those reviews. A lot of times I hear from businesses when I'm doing my webinars, they weren't even my customer and they're putting a review out there. I don't even know who they are. So I always recommend replying that. Hey, we've checked our database and we have no record of doing business. Sorry that you had an issue, but it wasn't with our company. And leave it at that. The goal is not to prove you're right, you're wrong. It's not to engage online. It's to just shut it down. I also, if it is a negative review and they know what happened, hey, reach out to me directly at our office. We want to learn more about what happened, or we want to do better next time. Or, hey, next time you come into the restaurant, we're sorry you had poor service. Dessert's on us. Please reach out to me directly. So the goal is to really just, thanks, Mark, tone it down and not engage online, because a business is never going to lose. They're never going to win. They won't. And the other thing is, if a business is having issues, they can reach out to you guys as a Grow with Google partner, say, hey, can you help me? And you reach out to our partner team and say, listen, this is the situation. Can we get this reviewed? There is no guarantee that it will be removed. Google has guidelines within our customer service. They can click where the guidelines are and read the guidelines. But if it falls within guidelines, Google, chances are, will not remove it, because we can't really prove whether or not that person was a customer or that experience really happened. So, but I have seen a lot of situations where it has been removed. The other is that business can also flag it when they're signed into their business profile and report it to Google. Before you reach out to our profile team, our partner team, you do need to tell that business you must flag it, and flag it multiple times, because it has to be flagged by the business first. More on reviews. And then we have a slide on tips for managing reviews. Messages, I already kind of brought that up. So they would have to turn that on and turn it off if they don't want it. It cannot be scheduled on and off during their hours. So once they turn it on, it's on. They can always turn it off at any time that they want. So then that's all directly from search, from the dashboard. And this is what the dashboard looks like. Now, just so you understand, again, some of these features that I've got in here, we just recently moved over and people have access now to it directly from the dashboard. One is under attributes, the highlighting of, and whether it's Latina owned, Black owned, woman owned, or veteran owned, that appears a little bit higher in the business profile. That's something Google likes to highlight because it's important for those businesses. So that is all available under the info tab within the dashboard of Google. So to get to the dashboard, google.com/business, and they can get to the dashboard. Or if a business is signed into their Gmail account or their Google account and they're on Chrome and searching, there's a little grid in the upper right-hand corner right next to their profile picture. Next to that grid, if they click that grid, not next to it, if they click the grid, there's a drop down. They can get to the dashboard directly from that grid as well as any of the recently used Google products. And then here's where they can add additional users. As far as I know, we haven't moved that over yet. I don't believe so, to directly from search or the map section. So I believe it's still only available in the dashboard, but mark my words, everything's transitioning over sooner than later. So they can add, and I mentioned this already before, additional users. They should always maintain being primary owner, and then their additional user access levels. Next steps is just follow these steps. And you guys, I can always share these slides. You're going to get the recording also, I believe. So. And then we always end our webinars with a next step so the business understands what to do next, as well as a quick recap as well. And then we give a couple quick resources. This is actually something really cool, and I recommend you for any clients that you work with that have business profiles. They can download a free marketing kit, information pulled from their business profile. If they're strictly a service business and they have no physical location, I don't know that this is still available. It used to be available for all businesses, whether service area or had a storefront or an office. I think it was recently changed now. It's not including service areas, but they can go in and check. And basically, we give them free marketing material that they can download and then repurpose, whether on social media platforms, add to their website, make a post out of it on Google, get a tabletop, created, make a sticker out of it. So all free information that they can download. Then we normally always have Primer in our workshops. As an example, it's a free app, short little marketing and business lessons that they can download from the Google Play Store or the App Store, and they're all 5 minutes or less. On Air has a lot of pre-recorded webinars. Trainers like myself, we only do live webinars. I don't do anything pre-recorded unless it's for a larger audience. But and then our website, we have tons of information on Grow with Google. So I went through a lot. Cheryl, I see you're on here. You look familiar. Were you at when I presented in person many moons ago to you guys? I feel like you were at that workshop. I don't know if you're still on.
Yes, actually. Okay. I was listening to your voice and I said, yeah. And I think the thing that was familiar to me is that your backstory, because I have children in Baltimore, went to school in Philadelphia, moving back to yada, yada, yada. Yeah. You know how that chit chat goes. But yes, indeed.
I remember you. I really
do think this is really a great tool. It has such portability. I was looking at it not only, as people are starting to figure out how to market their business and using all the tools that they have, and they all think that they need to use all the social media, be hip and happening. I got a Twitter, I got a this, I got a that. And I'm just trying to get them to say, let's focus on something really simple that you can really actually manage. Because actually it is hard to manage multiple social media, digital platforms at the same time and run your business. it's just maddening. You almost need a person on your, your teenage kid or your college daughter or son, slip them a few dollars and they become your people, because you just can't do that and run your business at the same time. So I just think this is really good stuff.
Yeah. And and the thing is listen, our small businesses have been hit hard. I mean, there's no two ways about it. And so many businesses weren't prepared digitally for this whole craziness over the last, 2+ years. So those that have struggled, they're wearing so many different hats. And that's why it's so important that they understand that this is something that they can do and they can manage. And, I always stress to businesses, listen, you got to think, where's your target audience? Where are they? So before you maybe go to all those different social platforms and social, don't get me wrong. I mean, my daughter lives in LA, and so she's a social media marketing person, but it's so important. But when somebody wants to know something, go somewhere, buy something, do something, they're going to Google and they're Googling it. So that is really important for your small businesses, that the information's there and it's correct and you own it. And that's really important. Cheryl, is your center a Grow with Google partner? I think you are, right?
It's interesting because I was trying to look and see. I mean, we had not done it particularly through us, but we have a gentleman on staff that is our web designer who has been teaching Google. And I think that is how we actually came into it. So it's not specifically through our SBDC, but it is through our Economic Empowerment Institute.
Okay. So I really encourage all of you, and I'll put my contact information up here. And again, guys, I'm still on for a little bit more. I mean, I'll give you obviously some free time back because it looks like we'll end a little bit early, but, reach out to me, because each of your centers really should, because of what it offers, become Grow with Google partners. I mean, it's free. There's no reason not to. Plus, if you have these businesses that need help, you reach out to our partner team. You're a direct link to Google. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So what other questions can I answer? You guys are going to get a lot of time back.
Hey, Randy, if our center has the partnership and they're set up, it's set up with one single email address, I know you could add additional members to that. Is that something through the platform, or is that by special?
No, you do have to fill out the partner registration, that application, but make sure you're using the same name that they've used, not their physical name, but the SBDC's name, your center's name. Make sure it's the same, so we make sure that you're all listed under the same organization. So for your particular center. So within one center, you can have 5, 6, 7 advisors, however many you want, or you can have just one. But I always recommend having multiple, because if that one advisor goes to another center or leaves, then you've got to start the whole process over. So I think it's always easier to have multiple people. And everybody has their own access as well. And then you're all working with your own clients. So you have your own direct link to Google. Any other questions? No. So, and I really will recommend, I mean, hosting these webinars are very simple. I mean, the way that we do it, or I do it, I mean, there's 13 trainers across the US, like me. I do a lot with the SBDC and statewide with SBDCs. And it's really been so beneficial for their clients, as well as getting new clients also. And I mean, I get a couple hundred people on my webinars. Now, after the webinar, I only share, and this is me, I only share the slides, a handout, and the recording to the attendees. Now, if a business, and I don't share it, you guys would share it. So how I do my webinars, I set them up, And if it's just one SBD center, I do tell them we need to bring in multiple hosts because Google has certain requirements. And plus, we want to help as many people at once as we can. Or if it's statewide, we create the whole series out, all the registration links. We do the webinar using GoToWebinar, that platform. We create the registration page, the landing page, share the slides, registration, hand out everything with you guys. All whoever is the hosting SBDC would then share the slides and the handout with all attendees. The recording, I always have the recording automatically sent to all attendees after the webinar. But if people don't attend, we find that we're getting better attendance by just not throwing it out there and giving it to everybody. People come in live and it's much more engaging and their questions are answered, as well as now, if somebody reaches out and says, hey, I couldn't make it, I had to go to work, I had an emergency, I got sick, whatever, by all means, you share the information with them. But I don't always recommend just throwing it out there and sending it to anybody who registered. That's just me. And I've seen good success with it over 2.5 years now. Any other questions? You got me asking. Okay. All righty. So please reach out to me if you're interested in the partner program. I mean, you can always also do it yourself directly, but I'm happy to walk you through it and answer any individual questions you might have. And Brittany, I'll get you the slides, or Jackie.
Sounds good. Well, if there's no further questions or comments, I believe we can end a little early. Thank you again, Randy. I know this is something that we deal with a lot with our clients, getting them online, especially with COVID. So this was very beneficial for myself as well. And so again, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. And we will see you in the next session then.